Well, I am so excited for you all to meet this wonderful comedian, performer, author, and international speaker, Karith Foster, who has written a new book called You Can Be Perfect or You Can Be Happy. And she also happens to be my cousin.
We are family. It's so exciting.
So I'm really happy to have you here, Karith, and I'm so excited about your new book because obviously, you know what our theme is around joy and around happiness right now. And so can you talk to us about that theme, how to be you can be perfect or you can be happy? A lot of people don't juxtapose those things.
I hate to say that it's the perfect time for this, but if there was ever a perfect time for a topic like this, it's kind of right now where things couldn't be less perfect. And not that things were perfect before we had a pandemic, but, I think they were a little bit more manageable. We had a little more clarity, but right now, this is the time to get grounded. It's the time to look at, how we can improve ourselves because we have, some of us have that downtime. Some of us are in go, go, go mode. I'm one of those people, but I still have to learn how to adjust and to get things in order. And one of those things I found was understanding that I am a recovering perfectionist. I have always thought from the time I was a kid, I had to be perfect. If I wasn't perfect, then I wasn't good enough. And I turned this off. I'm so sorry. See, perfect. That wasn't perfect. I just turned the volume off, but it didn't work. So, I think understanding there's no such thing as perfection, just baseline, right? Yes, you can strive to be the best you can be. You put forth effort and energy into something you want. But if you're going just for perfect, that's the golden carrot you'll never get. And in the meantime, what you'll do in the process is you'll drive yourself mad and you will infuriate yourself, you'll frustrate yourself, and you'll end up having thinking lesser of who you are and your abilities, because there is no perfect. I mean, as someone who is in the Hollywood limelight, you understand, this, you see it up close, you have a team of people to make you look good. I mean, you know how to make yourself look good. Look at you now.
Which is so funny during the pandemic because most of us are like trying to do our own hair and trying to do our makeup and trying to put on our own lashes and all these different things. And it's like,
right? It
has shown us how imperfect we truly are and how much assistance we really need.
Exactly. And so, but through understanding there's no such thing as perfection, the next step is getting to your happy. And happiness, of course, it is not going to be the same for each and every one of us. It's not even going to be the same for us based on where we are in our lives at that time. What made you happy 5 years ago may not make you happy now.
Now, when you say you're a recovering perfectionist, what are some of the qualities of perfectionists, right? Because a lot of us don't look at ourselves as perfectionists. We just know, well, we want it right and things should be right. But we don't necessarily know, oh, I'm a perfectionist.
That's a great question. And I think a lot of people, instead of thinking, oh, I'm a perfectionist, they think I'm lazy. They think I'm just not good enough. They think I don't have the ability to do something well or right. When the reality is they just want it to be perfect. It's not that you don't have the ability to do those things. You're just kind of misplacing the label for yourself. You know what I mean? One of the ways that I think people can, if there was a litmus test, I actually have a quiz that I created. And all the quiz are questions like, I'm easier on other people than I am on myself. When I make a mistake, I think about it for a long time afterward. I'm my worst critic. If I don't get something right, then I don't feel like I can like turn it in or be proud of it. Mm-hmm. And the reality is, in tech companies now, big tech companies, what they want people to do, what they encourage their people to do, the good bosses, is fail forward, because you learn from those failures, because they're not really failures if you're learning from them. Yeah. We internalize them as failures if it didn't go the way we wanted or planned. I have 2 small girls, as you do, And, you know, the other day, my 7-year-old was really frustrated with something because she just couldn't get it right. And we're like, don't get upset. I mean, it's understandable that you want to do it right, but please know that you're learning along the way. This is how you learn.
Right. You know what? That's one thing that recently has given me some peace when I was thinking, you know what? This isn't the last time I'll do this. This isn't the last, moment of my life. Hopefully, like there will be other iterations of this. So let go and release it, even if it's not perfect. And I find that a lot of times when we're trying to be perfect, it really holds us back. I know in my life, there's a lot of things that I never released or didn't start or started but didn't finish because it was taking so long to try and make it perfect.
And that's what I call perfection paralysis. That was almost the perfect definition of it. It's we get so caught up in our head of wanting something to be done to the T that either it doesn't end up getting done or we do it so many times over that it just, we end up losing our enthusiasm for it, right? Because sometimes it's, you just gotta, I call it GYST, which stands for get your stuff or together, Sometimes you just gotta do that and get it done and make it happen. And because nobody is perfect, you don't have to worry about it. Nobody's perfect. It's not like you're competing with anybody else out there because it doesn't exist. We are competing with this made up thing, this manufactured, manipulated concept to make us buy more, think we're not enough, think we need other, especially external things to bring us happiness, when the reality is we're good. We're good. We just need to realize how good we are.
Yeah, I feel like this pandemic has shown a lot of us that, right? Like you have a fancy car, but where are you driving it? Or all your wonderful hair and you're this and you're that and your designer purses, but who's seeing it? Nobody. And so I definitely feel like this time has helped us to get back to basics, so to speak, and the things that matter. And I know that you have an acronym about basics, and so I wondered if you could share that with us.
Well, that's part of the book, and there are multiple segments, I guess, that fall into that category. But the basics are be kind. Not just to other people. Like we know that the love your neighbor as yourself, but what about that yourself part? And being kind means, if you're going through something, don't beat yourself up about it. Well, understand, there's a process. Like we are all grieving right now. We are grieving, whether it's actual loss of people, the loss of income, the loss of normalcy. Yeah. Everybody is going through a grief process right now. Be kind to yourself about that. Yeah. After being kind is ask for help. There is no shame in that. For some reason, people think that if you ask for help, that means that you don't have it together. And we are so big on thinking like we got to look good. We got to have our stuff in order. And if we don't, then we're failing. And again, nothing could be further from the truth. And the reality is when you actually do ask someone for help, for assistance, you're doing something for them by making them feel needed, right? But you're also showing your strength in that vulnerability. And you're showing just how much you value wanting to get and do better. And especially for people who, are in a work situation, when you ask for help, that shouldn't be something that brings shame to you. That should be a signal to your superiors that you care, right? Mm-hmm. And after asking for help, stop it. Stop it. Stop it stands for a lot of stuff. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop judging. Stop worrying ahead. Stop apologizing for who you are, right? And stop obsessing over stuff you can't do anything about. That was a big one for me. I sent you that sneak peek chapter.
Yeah, you did. And that stop it part, I feel like that's the part that I probably have the hardest time with. Like my perfection, it's like even in writing, or I mean, it could be a social media post and I'm like, wait, delete, trying to rewrite things again and again because I want it to be just right. And for me sometimes, or even, practicing a role or researching a role, it's like, I'll just keep going and going and getting deeper and deeper. And a lot of times I don't have a real guide as far as, okay, that's enough, right? That's enough. What you've done is enough and it's good. So how would you suggest people sort of self-regulate and stop it, so to speak, that are so used to trying to get to that perfect?
Well, part of that falls into actually what the rest of it is, which is of the basics. And the I, well, the C is, well, excuse me, the I is ignore the critics, ignore the people who are there to say, oh, you really could have done that a little bit better. You should have done it. Because some of the critics are just haters who want to hate. And some of them are people who love us, who just live in fear, right? They live in fear. They live in limits.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the world is unlimited. I believe God, the universe, source, however people want to say it, is there to provide us with exactly what we need when we need it. And there's no question in my mind that, the people who come at us who are critics are just a little bit kind of stuck in that part. Otherwise, they wouldn't be jealous to be putting their 2 cents in to make you doubt yourself, or they wouldn't have fear for you that something couldn't be accomplished. And then you got to celebrate the victories. Getting unstuck means celebrating the little things that you do to get out of that perfection paralysis, whether it's that one step of making those phone calls that you were putting off, or writing that email, or getting that post and sending it without correcting it 15 times, just being good. Like, celebrate that. Like, I just sent that out. I'm going to feel good about it. I'm going to go have a Hershey's Kiss, right? Or I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to applaud we give other people high fives and kudos and congratulations all the time. And what do we do for ourselves? We don't. So, and that doesn't mean you have to brag, be a braggart. You don't have to have a big party, like a gender reveal party. This is just between you and you. But celebrate yourself and your victories. And then after that, say yes. Just, Shonda Rhimes, who I'm a big fan of hers. She wrote an entire book called, about the year she said yes to things. And I just thought that was so brilliant. And what I realized is, again, saying yes is taking that leap of faith, that whatever it is that you are scared of, that you are afraid of, that you don't think you have the ability to complete or do or tackle, is actually saying, okay, I'm going to have faith that I'm going to get everything I need to make this happen. Because I've said no before, and because I was scared, and it cost me a lot. It cost me a major television appearance that could have changed my life. It could have changed the trajectory of everything. I mean, I am where I am now, and I'm okay with that. And I'm very happy with my life that I've created. It's beautiful. But what I will say is, I needed something that big to happen for me to now say yes. I don't want other people to have to experience that if they can.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I love, though, about God and just his plan for our lives is that he already knows in advance what we're going to say yes and no to. So a lot of times we could think like, oh my gosh, if that would have worked out, then I could have been in this other place and my life could have been this other thing. But a lot of times he's already worked into the plan that this opportunity is going to come. It's not going to move forward, but there's going to be something else. And then she's going to want to say yes to that. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to throw that in, because I know it can be difficult to live with regret and questions of what if, what if that, and what if this had happened, but that's not our story. Right.
No.
But yeah, I like that, just the idea of self-care, right? Like, as someone who is trying to release perfection, because it can be a thief of joy, right?
Oh,
and I want you to talk about that, like how perfectionism can really steal your celebration.
It robs you. Perfection robs you. It is, and it's dressed like this beautiful, pretty little outfit with the, you know, because, oh, I want to look like that. I want to be like that. I want to have that success, that measure of success that looks perfect to me. And, you know, social media, it's a blessing and a curse all in the same breath, because, you know, it connects us to one another, especially during a time like this. But it also is this really dangerous place for, again, going and comparing yourself and thinking, oh, well, my life should look like that person's life. I should have that car. I should be on that vacation. I should be in that relationship, a relationship like
I
that.
should be in that bikini.
And not knowing what's on the other side of that phone or 2 inches over, you
Oh,
know,
completely.
you do not know. And, you know, they say that, you know, the grass is always greener on the other side. I say the grass is greener when you water your own lawn. So
Mm.
you just, self-care is not selfish, right?
That's so good. That's so good. Well, let me ask you, how can we follow you? Where can we buy the book?
Absolutely. Great question. So it's so simple. My name is Karith, Karith. I'm sure there'll be a graphic. Karith.com is my site. Yes, I own Karith.com. And actually, all of my handles are Karith Foster, Karith, and then Foster. And the book right now is on Amazon. And pre-orders through May 31st to kind of get it up on the bestseller list. After that, it's yours for the taking. The hard copy, that's the Amazon Kindle version. But after that, the hard copy will be available sometime after mid-June.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah,
Well,
and
everyone, please go out and get this book. I know I cannot wait to read it and work through my own perfectionism. But you are so insightful, and Karith is also a renowned speaker. You've authored other books as well. Do you want to share those books?
well, I have one book that's kind of out of print right now, but it's Laugh Your Way to Happiness, 101 Ways to Have a Great Laugh. And then a children's book that I'm getting illustrated called Leela Finds Love, about my Chihuahua and her adventures trying to find love. It's
So
really cute. But
sweet.
it's for parents and kids. It's funny.
So sweet. So you definitely want to follow her on social media as well as grab the books because they're fantastic. I love you so much,
Yeah.
Karith. Thank you so much for being with us today.